Big time. We got a big Carly Rae Jepsen fan here. It's an honor to have you in the studio, man. We've talked to you on the phone a few times promoting stuff. I think we talked to you pre-drugs, mid coming off of drugs, and fresh after drugs.
That's good.
And it's been it's like you've lived so many lives in one human being's lifetime.
That's true. That's true.
And I like it. I like this. And the current Steve-O is you are like straight edge. You're like essentially like the non-long-haired Jesus. Like you're living a very clean life right now.
I mean, I guess you could say that. I've been clean and sober for a while. I don't necessarily recommend that for anybody else, but
you don't recommend clean and sober?
No, I don't. I think that unless you really have to stop taking drugs and drinking alcohol, I say continue to do so and have a great time.
But you needed to because things got a little out of control.
Yeah, things got really out of control. I mean, I was watching people walk around my apartment who were never actually there. That's pretty. That's a sign.
Those are the best kind of friends, though. Really, they never steal your money or anything.
Right.
That's when it's a real problem. When the friends that don't exist do start stealing your money, then you know something's wrong.
Right.
Also, though, Steve-O, by the way, I want to point out, he's not just in town because he really likes the scenery here. He's performing tonight and tomorrow night at Manny's. The 9 p.m. shows are sold out. The 7 p.m. shows, I've been told by somebody to remind everybody that those shows are all ages, but that does not mean family-friendly. So,
it's such a contradiction.
Just to point that out. You can bring your 4-year-old. It just might not be appropriate.
Your karma's on the line.
Exactly. It's not Steve-O's ass on the line here. But also performing with Steve-O, we have got the very funny Al Jackson.
Yo, what up, man?
In B-Town. What's up, my man?
Yo, it's good to be back here, man. I got love for this place.
I know. It's good. It's good to have you back here. You're very, very funny.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I saw you on the Showtime special with Lucas.
Oh, yeah. That was super dope,
was very
man.
Good. You two were very good, and then there was one other guy that was kind of good, and then there was one other guy I didn't like.
Yeah. I think that was how I heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah. That was that. What's been new with you since then?
Man, it's cool, man. Just taped another special for Comedy Central last week that'll be out in the summer. My 30-minute was on last year, man. Stuff is good. Just because you told us not to curse, something almost came out. I don't even know where that came from.
Dude, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's only my job.
It ain't nothing but grown folks listening.
Child to feed. No, kids are still on their way to school. That's what. I don't know. Somebody wants to know if you're going to people keep asking about this. I know, Steve, you were like a circus guy. The Shrine Circus is in town, and people are like, is he going to protest the circus?
Why? See, they wouldn't be asking that because I used to be in the circus. They would be asking that because I'm a whistleblower. See, I graduated from Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College. I worked not in the Ringling Circus, but in another one that had elephants and stuff. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I was doing an interview, and I was saying, man, like the elephants in the circus I was in were totally abused, and the circuses abuse animals, and then I wound up doing something for PETA to speak out about that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like I don't dig animals in the circus. I think that
so circuses are cool
sucks.
As long as there's like people and stuff and
right. Cirque du Soleil is rad.
But once you throw animals in it, it's
I mean the whole thing about elephants, you break their spirit, and there's something inherently messed up about that. So I'm not going to go protest the circus. I'll just do it right now. So screw that circus and come to my show instead.
What about this?
Watch people get abused at the Steve-O show.
Yeah, I like that. I want to see some. Whoa! Almost.
Yeah, if
spilled
you're
some
into
water.
abuse, then
what about this though? Like here's the thing where it's kind of a moral dilemma, and I like to hear. Isn't it nice, by the way, to have somebody serving you?
It is.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask that. You got to show black men love, don't you? Kick the outlaws out of town.
I just watched. I just watched the movie The Help a few weeks ago. So every time I see something like that, I'm like,
got you,
thank
homie.
you. I'm glad we're fixing that.
It's called paying it forward.
Yeah, exactly. So the Shrine Circus is raising money to help kids with burn victims and cleft lip and palate, but the elephants get hurt. So it's like, do you want kid? Look at McLovin's lip. Look at that. Do you want more kids to look like that and have to grow up looking like they got their face stepped on by an elephant, or do you want...
I don't know, man.
No, I'm kidding. That's a weird position.
I think it's a good point that you raise. Two wrongs don't make a right.
That's true. Have you seen the? This is a good. I should ask you as a elephant guy. Have you seen the chick flick Water for Elephants?
No,
starring Robert Pattinson.
Absolutely no way. I couldn't even read the book because
don't read the book. That's wrong. But watch the movie.
I tried to read the book and I was like, oh man, this is I don't.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I watched.
I wouldn't
the movie,
watch the movie because it's animal abuse. As far as I'm concerned, man.
Christoph Waltz beats the hell out of that elephant. He's been on our show as well, and then he won an Academy Award. So just so you know, your career is going huge. Al came on the show, got another special.
Yeah,
Christoph Waltz wins an Academy Award. Like you're all of a sudden you're probably gonna star in Water for Elephants too. You're going to be the guy that saves the elephant.
That's how I'm going to buy drugs from now on. I'm just going to be like, hey, man, I'm going to need that Water for Elephants. Like $80 worth.
That's the code word. I love it. Lots of people texting and wanting to know if you will marry them, Steve-O.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
Sight unseen, just random women or men texting in.
Sight unseen is great.
That's the way you go?
That's when you know that you're gnarly.
Yeah, exactly.
When you text your bros and you say sight unseen, en route.
Somebody said to Steve-O.
You know what? But sight unseen isn't as rad. How about all the hot chicks tweet pictures of themselves?
Yeah, exactly. Tweet it.
My at Steve-O handle.
At Steve-O on Twitter. There we go. That's a good way to get in touch. Ask Steve-O if he will get a tattoo of my face next to his. I'm guessing probably not. Have you gotten any crazy tattoos lately, or was that like a phase?
How about this one?
He's got Santa Claus crucified on the cross on his arm.
That tattoo has negatively sold 10 tickets.
Is that when did you get that done?
It's not really like this Santa Claus on the cross thing. It's not like I'm mad at religion or anything.
You're mad at Santa Claus.
I think it's funny that our society, like, you know, we've completely essentially removed Jesus from Christmas. Santa Claus has become our savior, and Santa Claus died so that we could mace each other at Walmart.
for a $65 Wii.
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know? So I got an image of Santa crucified on the cross.
I would love. Would you ever do? I mean, you've done a lot of stunt. I'm so interested in the whole like Jackass, the stunty thing, because I'm a wuss. Like I can barely do shots or anything. Would you ever do like a crucifixion? Would you ever take a nail through the hand, or is that too much for you?
That's hilarious.
Like, can we crucify you? No.
I don't know about.
Is that too much?
That might be a little bit dark.
I mean, it might be, but I mean, physically, would you take a nail? I'm not asking you.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it'd be funny, like, the way to do it, like, people say, like, anatomically it's not possible to hang somebody if you puncture their hand.
Yeah, because it would
fall
rip.
right down. You know,
you're pretty light, fella. I'd hold your feet up, too. Does anybody have a cross? We got a lot of white supremacists here. If finally you guys can do something good for us and bring one of those crosses down here so we can crucify
and focus your attention on Steve-O, not the black dude and the Asian dude.
Exactly.
Like, go ahead, racist. Talk to the white dude.
People are excited. They said, this show made my morning. I'm so excited Steve-O is in town. Are you going to do anything fun, or do you just kind of hang out and lay low? I bet you get harassed like mad.
Well, you know, last night we went and played laser tag, man. And I know that probably sounds like... it
was dope. Yeah, it sounds lame. We were not feeling it. It was so much fun, man.
Who set it up? Was that was you, Lucas? You were like, I'm bringing Steve-O to town. We're gonna do some.
We did the same thing you would do on a Big Brothers Big Sisters out.
Well, usually we like to go out and get a little tipsy.
Yeah,
but we want to respect Steve on the fact.
Oh, I forget. Yeah, so you have to think of like it's either like bumper boats or laser tag. I like.
But
that.
actually, Lisa Woodward, who's performing this weekend, she kind of helped set it up, and Geyser Park was awesome enough to close the doors for us and just let us have free reins on all the toys.
Of course they were. What are they going to like? It's like, let Steve-O play laser tag and disappoint 3 kids or make $6. Like, it seems like a pretty easy decision.
No, it was fun.
There.
It was like real life Halo is what it felt like.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was so much fun, man.
There
it really was.
I love how Steve-O's like impressed now by like laser tag when you used to probably get shot with like guns with laser sights, and now laser tag still excites you.
It not still excites me. It excites me for the first time now.
Somebody, by the way, wants to clarify: if we put the nails through your wrist, it'll hold instead of your hands.
Right. That's what.
Okay, good. I like that you've studied this.
We're getting real time.
Yeah,
stuff going on.
That people can. Yeah, people want to ride an elephant with you if it's treated properly. Lots of people love you. Isn't it awesome that just because, I guess maybe it's your personality and your good looks, but probably just because you're on TV and you're famous, all these girls they jump straight to marriage. It's not even like, man, I would love to see what Steve-O's like over a drink. It's straight like, I would marry that guy.
I know.
Do you get that everywhere you go? I mean,
I don't get it everywhere I go, and I've been. It's so funny. I remember pretty early on this tour. I remember going backstage. There were a couple comics that I was working with, And they're like, "Oh, dude, like, how are you doing, like, without drinking, man? Is it too hard?" And I was like, "Oh, man, at this point, I really don't have a problem. Like, I don't really stress over alcohol and drugs, Like, my problem is, at this point, it's chicks, man. Like, I'm just out of control. I'm on, like, a sexual rampage." And they're like, these comics looked at me, like, just angry and disgusted. They're like, "Oh, yeah, big problem."
Yeah, that's what you call a first world problem. That's
exactly. But I'm trying not to be like such a slut. But if really, but I know I'm gonna go right back to the hotel. I'm gonna check my Twitter for like the hottest chick.
Exactly. There you go. These chicks are so excited. Oh, this is awesome. I want to marry him because he cares about animals, not because he's famous.
Okay.
That's the way to Steve-O's heart. She really loves you.
I'm gonna get naked for Steve-O because.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I'm gonna flash him. Somebody says I'm gonna put a baby in Steve-O. I don't know if that's how it works, but that'd be fun.
I like the way she thinks, though.
I bet we'd get some news out of that. Yeah. What do you think? I've heard you talk on Stern and some other places about comedy and stuff. Like, what are you digging it? Is this you feel comfortable in this zone? Like, this is where you want to be?
For sure, man. I love it a lot. I mean, it's been my experience in life that's just sort of lends itself to comedy. I mean, I've been orally pleased by a transvestite and been just drunk enough not to care, and that's funny,
That is funny.
Yeah, that's
and fun. Yeah. I've been in the same boat too. I wasn't drunk, but
I've had the craziest stuff with groupies go down, man. I remember
this is live. Just remember.
I remember that this chick I was hooking up with her, and as soon as she pulled out my wiener and she got serious, she says, I was in a bad accident. Get ready to have a really good time. And she pulled out her teeth.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
I swear, dude.
No teeth.
Her upper teeth were like a denture, man. Like I guess she smacked her face on the dashboard really hard or something.
Something.
But don't feel bad for me.
Steve-O he had a good time.
Yeah, that girl blew me away.
And then had an insure after that.
Yeah, exactly. Then went back to the Matlock runs.
But seriously, man, like that's what stand-up comedy is like for me. Like I really just tell stories, that are true and very juicy. And the more I've been at it, the more each show is able to take on a life of its own because I'm more comfortable and I'm doing crowd work and working with guys like Al Jackson. It's awesome, man. It always makes you think quicker and you just always come up with fun new stuff.
Exactly. Who are some of the other guys you've worked with? I know
I really like there's a coffin commercial on TV that's hilarious.
Oh, that's the coffin painted like bacon. You get for $3,000 if you want to be buried in bacon.
I have a cousin who's a mortician. It's so funny because when I went to clown college, my cousin was going to mortician school, and our mothers were cracking up arguing over whose son was a bigger loser. Right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Who ended up becoming the bigger? It's got to be him, right? Because you make more money.
But money doesn't have anything to do with it. This guy loves like scraping
He loves
up
dead
bodies.
people.
He loves it.
There's a term for that.
He'll call me. Yeah, I know. And that's I think how the argument went. My mom was like, "Oh, dude, to her sister, like, I totally win. My son wants to be a clown." And her sister's like, "Yeah, well, my son's learning how to embalm dead bodies, and I'm pretty sure it's because he wants to have sex with them."
I'd give it to you as the clown. It's like, at least you're trying to brighten lives. That guy right there is trying to get his rocks off without having to ask.
He's not. I'm totally kidding.
I love how somebody's going to track him down and it's going to be a TMZ story.
I was with him last weekend at his work.
Really?
Yeah.
What
I was checking out dead bodies at his work.
Is it just creepy?
It wasn't like the bodies were in boxes labeled human remains.
Oh, so you couldn't see it. He wasn't doing anything funny like, check this out, like, playing around with them or anything. They got to do that, like wave their arms around, like do the YMCA.
I remember we were with Knoxville in Indonesia filming Wild Boys, and my cousin just happened to be out there. And so I introduced him. I'm like, "Yeah, Knoxville, this is my cousin." And Knoxville says, "So, dead bodies, huh? You ever, My cousin goes,
the awkward laugh.
Like not even a yes or no.
That's funny.
I think Knoxville was even specific, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
So we want to put it out there officially. We've had a few stories break into TMZ, and make real news. So we want to put it out there that your cousin probably does not have sex with corpses.
Right.
Officially.
Yeah, he doesn't.
On the record, he does not. But
I think the fact that you have to go on the record says something about our society.
It does. Well, it does. I mean, we've had so many just random people say some stupid stuff.
You know what the best thing about my cousin was? And I love it so much. Like, he gets really excited. Like, one time... One time he calls me up and he says, "Dude, you know the soda machine? How it's got that warning with the stick figure? It says don't shake the soda machine or it can fall on you." And he's like, "I got one." Somebody was shaking a soda machine.
My gosh.
And then it fell on them and killed them. And he went and go.
I love that. That's like his thing. Like, you got a cool call on the job. You get to call up like,
"Yeah,
dude, 3-story fall today, man. It's crazy. Broke every bone with his pelvis." Somebody wants to know. This is just you too. It's an interesting question though. They said, "I don't believe for a second Steve-O is sober. He sounds high off his ass." Do you get that? Because you do kind of have a stonery sound about you, but I believe you completely. I mean, I believe you're totally straight.
Yeah, I mean, people don't have to believe me.
I think it might be your voice. You kind of got like a raspy voice, so it sounds like maybe you just wake and baked and coughed it off. But
I don't know, man. My voice has always been kind of messed up, and it's certainly gone downhill over the years. But yeah, whatever, man. Believe what you want.
What's up? Yeah, I know exactly. It's like, who cares? Like, what are you gonna not go to his show? Like, I will only see a sober Steve-O. If Steve-O's on any substances, I will not see this show. What I want to know, what was I gonna ask? Oh, money things. I'm always confused or interested about your money thing. Your dad is like, he's like the president or something.
He was. When I was 6 months old, my family moved to Brazil because Dad was the president of Pepsi Cola Brazil.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's dope. I didn't even know that.
Look at this. I'm teaching Al Jackson stuff.
When I was 12 years old, we moved to Canada because Dad became the president of
Quebec,
Nabisco, Canada.
What?
So you had all the wheat thins you could handle.
And
all the
then
Triscuits.
Dad went on to become the president of Nabisco International.
So Dad is a big money guy. And isn't that why you, and I don't know what your situation is now, but back in the day, you used to rent or lease instead of buying? And wasn't that because your dad gave you financial advice? And
yeah, I mean, Dad just told me, he said, "Hey, there's a real estate bubble and it's going to pop, so don't buy." Dad still says don't buy.
Your dad's going to die when he tips over a pop machine someday and have all this money that he never spent.
A pop machine.
Your cousin's going to call and be like, "Dude, it's your dad, Steve."
You know what? Like, America's really in some trouble with different stuff, and
I love when you get into like finances and stuff because it's so funny to hear Steve-O talk about this.
Gold is the best. The gold's the only money that you can't print.
That is true. Your dad is right about that. Does your dad work now, or does he live in a fat retired life?
He doesn't live in he's comfortable. Yeah,
he's got a house made of Triscuit boxes. I would do something like that to pay homage.
Nilla wafers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always want to know. We had a guy that I met a few months ago that his stepdad or his dad married a lady that owned part of Mars, like the huge company that does all the candy bars and stuff. And I was so interested, like, do you get just all the candy bars? And
I'm
he's
so
like,
stupid. I thought you were talking about the planet. I was like, buy real estate up there.
No, the company, they own everything. And he said, yeah. He's like, we get anything we want. And he's like, for Valentine's Day, like I call the marketing department and have them make custom M&Ms for my girlfriend and just ship them out to me. And
nice.
But yeah, you can get like anything he wants, and I'm like, it makes me hate my parents for being so not successful and
Can
just
you send something to your ex that says you're dead on the M&Ms? They just open it like, oh my god,
that would be awesome. Just freak
dope.
Your friends out. Custom candy bar. So what's your deal? Like, what's your living situation now? I know you used to have weird stuff. You rented out like multiple apartments.
Yeah, I had 4 apartments in one building.
And it was like a ski. You had like half pipes.
There was one apartment was strictly a skate park. The other one was like my office pad that I had my buddies live in and like an editing bay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had my bachelor pad, and then I had an apartment for my assistant.
I love it. It's such a
which was ridiculous. I didn't need an assistant. I just needed someone to change my flights all the time.
I know. Isn't that funny? Yeah, one thing's bothering you, like flights, and you end up solving it by hiring a full-time employee.
Else. It wasn't bothering me.
You had no problem with it.
Yeah.
I want to, like, what do you live now? I mean, did you have
you know what?
what's your address?
That building I had the 4 apartments in, everything obviously fell. The wheels came off. Then I went to rehab. I stayed in Pasadena where I went to rehab for my first 2 years sober. And then I lived in a halfway house for my first 2 years. Then I moved to Glendale, California, another 2 years. And now, actually, I just got an apartment in West Hollywood again.
Right on.
And I'll move in next month.
And are you going to do crazy stuff? Or are you going to live like a normal, like buy a couch and a TV?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm real into surfing these days. I'm like...
so one of the rooms might be filled with water.
Maybe, yeah. Well, definitely I'm going to have a surfboard rack on the wall.
Is it a weird transition for you to have, like, go in to rent an apartment? Or do you have, like, an assistant? Or is it weird when you meet, like, a rental agent?
You gotta wonder, maybe these people saw, like, my well-documented troubles with with one of my last rental situations. But no, it was cool, man. I got approved right away.
Oh, good. I just wondered if you walk in and they're just like, no, it's... I assume to be like if Al walks in, They're like, sorry, the apartment just got rented out.
It's just, like, just listen to him. It's very hard, like, to take what Steve-O says, like, because he just, everything to him is just so mellow. Like, I asked him yesterday, I was like, yo, you working out? He's like, yeah, I'm surfing. And he hands me a picture on his phone. He's standing on his head on a surfboard. I'm like, you're not, but he's like, yeah, just surf. I'm like, that's not surfing. That's super dope. And he could care less. He's like, yeah, just doing a little. He's standing on his head on a surfboard. Look at that picture.
Are you getting like pulled behind something?
No,
that's freestyle.
That's crazy,
that's
right?
In Hawaii.
Yeah,
do you surf normally as well, or just straight head style?
Well, I mean, I serve normal.
Normal.
It's crazy. I
Just head style.
I get up at like 4:30 in the morning. I go like pick up my buddy at 5 a.m. We drive down to San Clemente and we're break dawn surfing waves.
Right on.
I could really stalk you. He tells you everywhere. He's like, I'll be in Glendale, and then I drive down to.
Do you guys
my PIN number?
Do you guys have some other far less important radio station to go to, or do we have time? Can we take a break and come back?
Sure.
Okay, cool. We'll take a break and come back because I keep getting in trouble for talking to comedians and not playing commercials. So we'll be back more with Al Jackson and Steve-O performing at Manny's.
Tickets still on sale for the 7 o'clock show tonight and tomorrow.
7 o'clock tonight and tomorrow. You can get them at montanacomedy.com. Don't wait and try to get them at the door because they will sell out. We got more with Steve-O and Al Jackson next on Hot. Weather brought to you by the Amusement Park Drive-In, where tonight movies are free if you say you listen to Hot 101.9. And to answer the lady who just called who's her question, no, it doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. It's not like everything but VWs are free tonight. It's any car that's filled with people. You can go straight up crossing the Mexican border style and just fill like a whole, like the undercarriage of your car with a bunch of people and drive in. As long as you say you listen to us, it's free tonight. So yeah, check that out. And scooters are free as well. If I had one that ran, I would be there. But that's enough of weather. That's right. I do the intro to weather and I realize that Steve-O's using my computer, so I don't even have... But who cares?
I'm using your computer. I'm looking at my Twitter and I don't have any...
It's upsetting.
I don't have any pictures from any chicks.
Yeah, so Steve-O's in town. Chicks are on the text line like, oh my gosh, I would marry Steve-O in a heartbeat. He's such an inspiration for being clean and loving elephants. And you're talking all this smack, and then Steve-O's like, well, hit me up on my Twitter. And then he checks his Twitter here, and he's got nothing. So I'm just trying to tell you that you guys are really, as a community of whores here, being disappointing. I mean, the women in Billings are being fine, but those of you that are like, I'll give it up to anybody who's been on MTV before, you're doing a pretty bad job of representing. You need to take your hot duck face picture from Facebook, shoot it over and say like, hey, I got the whole day off work. Where do you want to meet up? Skate park bathroom, Hampton Inn, Stella's. Like, that's how you work.
Hampton Inn bathroom.
That's what I did last time Winona Judd was in town, and it worked. I tweeted her a picture of me, and I was like, yo, you, me, skate park bathroom. And I got down. Hey, this is somebody said, Steve, how long did that goldfish live after you threw him up?
Probably not too long, but I gave him away to it.
Do you love specific questions like that?
Yeah,
they're just like
I do.
Random. I took a drink of a goldfish once, but I drank the whole thing. And you're like a PETA guy a little bit too. It was funny. I was doing a comedy show. And it's Billings, so and it's not like comedy like you guys where you sell out. It's just a group of friends and I doing some sketch. And one of the things was at the end, it was like a frat sketch. I drink this goldfish, and there was one girl in the front row that was like, "Don't do it! Be a bigger man!" And I'm like, "Really?"
Wow.
And so then I just got like mad at her and like drank it in her face. Like, it's a friggin' goldfish. Seriously, like people feed these to their bearded dragons. Like, all I'm doing is becoming one with the animal.
Yeah, they say it only remembers like one trip around the fishbowl.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not remembering that. By the way, just to the ladies that are going to be tweeting Steve-O here soon, I just found out the skate park bathroom is locked all of the time, so don't go there.
Man.
Somebody said, I want to hook up with him, but I don't have a Twitter.
Here we go.
Oh, good. Somebody came. We got one. We got a live one.
If you can't hook up a Twitter account, you don't need to be hooking up with them. You need to.
That's what I love my friends like that, too. I've got friends that just scored Facebooks. They just get on. They're with it.
We have one.
Good. How many Twitter followers do you have?
A little over 500,000.
It's not bad. 500,000. Have you gotten paid for a tweet yet, or are you not to that level?
Never, yeah. I don't know if I'm into that.
Well, what about like surfing? You do surfwood now, and like, what if like I don't know surfboards? There's not a lot of surfing around here, but what if like a Clifton Surfboards gets a hold of you?
Because I tweeted a photo not long ago saying, "Yeah, I've got my Nissan Versa's got a surfboard rack on it now. I'm stoked. I've got my own board on my own surfboard rack."
Yeah,
I probably should have gotten paid for that tweet.
Oh, you should like the Suzuki Kizashi. Have you ever heard about that car?
No.
Look at that. You can like jump into lakes if you have one of these things. But this Suzuki Kizashi, this car has bullet train brakes. Have you been on the bullet train? Same brakes on this car. You know what? Yeah, I got paid to say that.
I think that's how that girl lost her teeth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to do that. You need to talk to Suzuki Kizashi or somebody.
See, I wasn't trying to like promote. Like, I'm stoked that I drive the cheapest car Nissan makes.
Yeah,
you know, and
this car. I mean, if you compare this to other cars in the luxury line, like that car is going to blow you away. Suzuki Kizashi.
Nice.
I got to play the $ sound there. But yeah, I'll give you lessons, man. There's nothing that comes. She's paying to take pictures of you right now. She's not. We don't even allow her into the studio. She pays us to be here. Nice. That's how it works. When you leave, Lucas is going to slip me a 20 for having you guys on. It's all payola.
So after my show tonight, okay, here's my deal. Like, I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. I don't start the next show until I've taken photos with every person who wants one.
Really?
Right.
So anybody that wants to take a photo, you're cool. You're not like, I'm too big for that. Like, anybody that wants a picture, you'll take a photo with
I
them.
make sure of it. Like, to the bitter end, every person. And if anybody's got anything they want to tell me or show me or ask me, everybody gets their chance.
That's cool, man. I hate when people get to the level, like, you know, where you're a household name and people recognize you and stuff, and then they become like a huge dick, and it's like, keep people away from me.
No,
like,
it's, like, for me, it's like, I want to keep this thing going. So if I can make sure that everybody's got a photo, so they can go and put it on their Facebook and their Twitter and all that, let people know that they went out and saw my show, then that's a good deal, man.
Plus, I do the same thing. It's making fans for life. It's like, I want to be in this crappy market for the rest of my life. Like, I made that horrible decision at some point. So I go in and, like, speak to third graders, because it's like being like a cocaine dealer. It's like, you got to get them hooked when they're young, so they're like, oh my gosh, Big J. And then when they're old enough to spend money, it's like, boom, you are already addicted to this. Yeah. So that's what I do. Like, I try to sell my drug to the third grade students in this community, and you do that with your fans, where they're like, man, Steve-O is awesome.
That's why the shows, the 7 p.m. shows tonight and tomorrow are all ages.
Exactly. So you can get them started.
There's
going to be kids that
we're going to actually sell drugs during that show. Really get them hooked.
Steve-O doesn't do any drugs, but he sells all of them. He's clean and sober himself, but not to you.
Right. But the 9 p.m. shows are sold out, but the 7 p.m. shows, which are all ages,
they are both available. MontanaComedy.com. Let's talk product endorsements and stuff. Do you do any product endorsements of anything? Like, are you like the face of any brand, or like do any promotion for anything?
I used to have a shoe sponsor, but not anymore.
That fell through. What?
Yeah, well,
does it piss you off, or are you like, whatever?
Burned the bridge a little bit.
Yeah. I can't see how that would happen. Somebody says, hey, any bad blood with Amy Schumer? That's a good question. We've had Amy on the show a few times, and
you know what's so funny about this, right? I mean, I never was particularly mad, right?
Well, let's fill everybody in real quick before we do this, because I've spoken to Amy about it, and now we'll hear from you. But at the roast of Charlie Sheen, Amy made a joke that was a Ryan Dunn joke, who's obviously your good friend from Jackass who had passed away. Your face that they used when they cut to you looked like you were highly offended, and a lot of people made it a huge feud where Amy tried to defend it, and the comics kind of came out on one side or the other, and some people are like, they're a bunch of pussies, and some people are like, it was too far. What do you think?
I never didn't think about it afterwards, right? But then, like, a day or two after the roast aired, Jeffrey Ross reached out to me and he says, "Hey, Amy Schumer is worried about your feelings," right? And I thought, huh? And I just texted him back. I said, "Hey, tell her I'm not crying about it." And he said, and then he said, "Okay, no, really, we need your help. She's getting death threats online, you know." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And then he's like, "Dude, you know, she's asking you to go on your Facebook and your Twitter and, you know, just call your fans off, you know, tell them to like, leave her alone and, like, it's all good." And so I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll tell you what, Jeff." So I started sending Jeffrey Ross these practice. I said, "I'll send you some practice tweets till I get it right." I never wrote more funny stuff in one night of my life. Like I wrote like hashtag that awkward moment when somebody tells 6.4 million people they want you dead and then asks you to put like, whatever it was, you know. I was like, "Hey everybody, it was a roast, you know, where people say mean to each other, mean things, you know, to each other on purpose, like." You know, that silly little whore was just doing her job.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's like, kind of what I'm glad to hear that.
When I got to rehab, the first thing I learned was the importance of forgiveness, and I forgive Comedy Central for letting that no-name slut on the show in the first place.
I like that one.
You know, like
she's. That's a good one.
You know, it is what it is. But ultimately, what I wrote, like, I went and I tweeted to everybody. I said, "Hey, Amy Schumer feels horrible about the jokes, and you know, and I can relate to feeling bad about saying something, you know." And so that was what I did. But then it turns out like that she's, you know, she's secretly going through Jeffrey Ross to get me to like call all my fans off.
Oh,
but then she's doing interviews saying, "Oh yeah, if I did it all over again, I'd do it again," or whatever, you know.
So she's trying to sound badass and
duplicity, you know.
Yeah, I hate that, man. It's
like whatever. I have zero respect for that slut, but I'm not mad at her for telling a joke.
I totally understand where you're coming from.
Tell all the jokes you want. You know, it's a roast. I really don't care. But don't be a two-faced slut.
Don't play both sides at the end. Exactly. I like that. Are you worried now that her boyfriend, Anthony Jeselnik's going to come after you?
That's another thing, right? That's another thing. Like, before the roast, they were like, you know, they're dating. And they asked me through someone else, through Big J. Okerson, like, "Hey, can you not make any jokes to say that we're together," you know? And I had the best joke, like, yeah, I don't know if it's the best joke, but I was
make sure it's clean.
Yeah, I like they said, "Can you not say that we're together? You know, we'd really appreciate that." And so I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll strike the one where I said, hey, like Anthony Jeselnik. I hear Anthony Jeselnik and you know, Amy Schumer are dating, you know, like but they don't want anybody to know because they're embarrassed of each other, you know. But I say go for it, guys. You know, your celebrity nickname could be who the hell are they?"
That's a good joke. That's a good joke. They are. I mean, they are big in the comedy world, though. Do you guys run in like separate?
I don't know.
She doesn't have a show yet.
I don't. I mean, all I know is what I've said. You know, like I mean, it's a roast. Go and tell you. I didn't find that joke funny. I didn't have any kind of vendetta.
I'll give you some juice too on Schumer if we're going to talk about that two-faced slut, as you call her.
Two-faced slut. Like, I don't care if she's a slut or not because like I'm hardly one to point fingers.
She makes jokes about herself being a slut, so that's not even an insult.
She's an ugly two-faced bitch.
There we go. So that ugly two-faced bitch. Listen to this. So, I've been a fan of Amy's for a while, and so I get her on the show. Oh, she stood me up for an interview in the morning. So then I tweet her, and I'm just like, "Hey, what an ugly two-faced bitch," or something. I'm like, "Stood me up for my interview." And then what I thought was really cool, she tweets me, she direct messages me. She's like, "Hey, can I do the interview now?" And I'm like, how cool for somebody, you know. She's like, "I missed the interview." She was very apologetic. She's like, "I want to do it now." It was for the roast. It was the day of the roast. And so she calls me up and we're doing this interview, and she tells this huge story during the interview about Charlie calling her to fly her out to his house. Like, he wanted to fly her and Anthony out to his house in LA to watch it, and they couldn't go. And it was like this big story about how she had to turn Charlie Sheen down. And then I'm like, it's such a cool story. And then after the interview, I post a link to it on Twitter, and she direct messaged me and like, please take the interview down because I don't want Charlie to hear that I was talking about him. And it's this big, like, she sent me like 6 direct messages like saying, take that down. Like, I don't want Charlie Sheen to think that I'm like bragging about being friends with Charlie Sheen. machine. So she's got a history of like saying one thing and sounding super cool, and then afterwards being like, no, but don't tell anybody that.
Right.
Like, you're going to own up to stuff. If you come on the air and say that you're going to have sex with a hot chick today, like, you will actually do that.
Odds are.
You're not a two-faced lying bitch. Like Amy
I'm offended
Schumer.
that you just said one hot chick, Steve-O. The day is young, baby.
Exactly. It's 8:30 in the morning, man.
Right.
2 at least.
You've got plenty of time. What about you, Al? Are you gonna? How do you guys work as a team? Like, you the wingman? Who's the wingman? In
I'm like the fullback. I take out the fatties, and he I clear the linebacker out of the hole, and he goes for 40 yards.
He says he's taking it for the team, but really, that's how black guys roll.
That's how it's just all black guys take one for the team. What is the deal? I will ask you this. I hate being like, and I really am not. I mean, I might maybe a little racist for comedy's sake, but not in real life. But I mean, it is a true question that I can't ask anybody in town because they want to probably kill me already.
All the outlaws left.
Yeah, and all the outlaws are gone.
Yeah.
And but I want to know, like, what is the deal? You see it all the time here. Like, every black guy in Billings dates a girl. I mean, maybe there's a few exceptions, but for the most part, they love big, fat girls with fat asses. Like, what is up with you guys being, like, skinny, fit? Like, you could be in any professional sport ever, and then for some reason you go for a chick that, like, her most experience with sports is like watching it on TV.
It's like this. You know how some people say, I don't see color?
Yeah.
Black people don't see guts. We don't care about the guts. we just want the titties and the boob and the butt. You know, the stuff in the middle is like,
what I want to know is, like, that's kind of weird to me that, like, why are there no black women in Billings? Like, because then I could be set. Like, I could be pulling the finest slender black
any
women.
black woman in Billings, tweet
There's
me
not
right.
one.
There's not one?
There's like old.
Is this like the town from Footloose? You don't have any black people?
There's very old black women. Like, there's no, like, middle of the road. Okay, I guess there are a few now that I'm thinking about it, but they don't want to be with me.
There's no black. Is that legal? Like, census-wise, since Obama's been in office, like, y'all don't have one? You didn't recruit one from?
No, he pays us back. He's trying to close down our post offices and stuff. Like, he's getting us back. I mean, Obama's screwing us over because we're not supporting you guys, and so don't feel like you're getting misrepresented. Yeah, we don't have enough, and he's taking away post offices.
Yeah.
He refuses to put a statue of me up.
I think the internet probably also hurt the post office a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't think it's all Obama.
It could be the fact that
you mailed a letter to somebody. Let me sit down and pen a letter.
Don't let me go off about the post office. I hate, and they're like the mob. Like, I had a feud on the air with the post office with my postman. He sucked. He was just a dick.
Yeah.
And
did you tip him during the holidays? You need to give him a bottle of scotch.
I move into the house and the guy was instantly a dick and wanted me to move my mailbox because he didn't want to go up my stairs because it's a hazard and like all this stuff. But they ended up calling in like postmaster generals from like all over the country to talk to our management up here to try to intimidate them. And I'm like,
what?
You deliver friggin' mail. Like, what? You're not the government. But yeah, the post office, when you think about it, is ridiculous. Like, if you go there, I don't know how it is in like big cities, but like you wait for like a half an hour to mail a letter, and it's like, this is already impractical, and then you have the worst customer service in the history of business.
It's an outdated way to do things, and it's just like, I mean, eventually, like, our kids aren't even going to know what the post office was.
Yeah,
that's going to be like the milkman, dog. Like, no one.
The post office is modern day slavery.
Like
there
we
go.
Yeah,
like no one's going to mail a letter in 2015 or.
Let's start a thing. Like, let's start a like comedians against the post office, and like start like a national campaign for instead of getting behind like AIDS research, let's get behind just getting rid of the post office and making all those people be out of jobs.
Hey, I think we've been wasting our time on AIDS. Let's go back to the post office and like get to the bottom of that.
Exactly. Let's get rid of it. Let's take the post office money.
The milkman really went around humping everybody's mom.
I think that happened a lot. I had a homeboy that was when I used to live in Miami. I used to be a middle school teacher, and he was
Isn't that hilarious, by the way? Middle school teacher?
He used to be like the guy for the city that used to cut your water off when you didn't pay your bill. And he told me all the time, women would just come to the door like, look, I got 3 kids in this house. What I got to do to get you to not cut this water off?
And the guy's like, I got 3 things here.
If you don't have any money, you got one other bargaining chip if you're a woman. So
is there an option for that? If that for the people, like for these sold out shows, there's some people texting and they don't have enough money and stuff to come see the show and stuff. Is there a way for them to talk to you and see if there's anything else they can do to get tickets? Like, are you waiting
make sure
outside?
This water doesn't get cut off?
Is there like a line outside for poor chicks to come up to Steve-O and see if they can do anything to work their way into the show?
You know, if it's sold out, it's sold out. You know,
yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Doesn't matter how hot.
But certainly, just go hang out at the venue, and if you want to get like pictures or anything like that, I'm cool with all that.
Yeah, I love how you set this up like it's such a fan friendly thing. It's all about pictures. In reality, it's like you're just like, okay, she's a 6, she's an 8. Yeah, it's like this is Steve-O's casting couch, and all the
we
fans
actually
are like,
make you line up according to numbers. Like Steve-O will now be taking pictures with the 5.5s.
Yeah.
He's got 3 minutes. Let's go.
Exactly.
Not taking pictures for Zone 5.
Bring Zone 5 up, please. Oh man, lots of people are so excited to have you in town. So that's very, 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 very cool. And like I said, you can check them out. 7 o'clock, still available tonight and tomorrow night. You can get tickets and check that out.
Yeah, and it's not just stand up the whole time. I'm doing stunts and tricks too,
Yeah, we talked to the lady from. I interviewed the chick from the Gazette, and she said she interviewed you and you do stunts too. And
right.
I thought you were like distancing yourself from the stunts.
Man,
You're not.
Not at all. You guys have the paper? It's important to me that I hurt myself at every show.
Good. And is that? I mean, that's got to
be. Don't go see the Shrine Circus. They abuse animals. Come see my show. I abuse myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are giving you his number. Go to Twitter, you guys. Get a Twitter if it's worth it. If you really want to hook up with Steve-O, what does that say? That it's like, yo, I want to hook up with this celebrity so bad, but I'm not going to take 4 minutes to set up a Twitter account. Like. That you're not worth it. Steve-O knows you're not going to put in the effort.
It's like when you see somebody with a Twitter account, and they just have the egg.
Yeah.
They don't even have a picture. I'm like, come on, dog. You got to get rid of your egg.
I do that.
My mom's got her picture up.
Exactly.
Come on.
I'm maxed out on Facebook, you know, not to brag, but I hit that 5,000 mark on my personal. So, it's like the only time you can add a friend is when one person, like, drops you for being offensive.
Yeah.
And then you get to choose from, like, 900 people now. And it's like, there are people on there with no picture. I'm like, really? Of all the people, you think I'm going to add your no picture ass when there's a chick with a bra on in the picture above you who says she's interested in men, women, and anything in between? Like, hello.
Thank God for them.
I know who I'm adding. Are you a big Facebook guy, or do you do mostly Twitter
now? I like
now?
Facebook. I don't do the personal Facebook. I just have the fan page.
But do you still? I mean, do you correspond, or does your assistant do it?
No, I do it myself. I don't have an assistant.
You don't. That's good. That's a wise financial decision.
I haven't needed an assistant for over 4 years.
That's good. Career check.
Not since the incident.
How was the book, by the way? Like, how'd that do?
The book was great, man. I made the New York Times bestseller list.
That's got to be cool.
Yeah.
What a cool.
And my book on Amazon, the average customer rating is 5 out of 5 stars.
That's huge, man.
Yeah, not a lot of books get like 5 out of 5 on average.
And who else do you want to like the book aside from customer? I mean, hey, people that want it like it, so that's good. Lucas, when are you writing a book? And Al, when are you writing a book?
I don't even know how to write, man.
Yeah, that's true. You just took all your writing supplies over to Laos and gave them to your home country. So maybe
how funny is that? Is that a country?
He made it up. They totally. His family. Listen to this for a conspiracy.
Is there am I wrong that Laos is like
it's
Laos
not real.
Is plural for Laos?
Yeah. like your child needs special shampoo. There's Laos all over this school. Yeah. He invented this country.
Yeah, it's like like when your dad like really really hates a guy. He's like that Laos.
Yeah. His family sells egg rolls.
Sounds like something you used to call people in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? He's being a louse.
They sell egg rolls year round to raise money to go
like
back
Amy
to Laos.
Schumer.
Yeah. They're like
that
Amy
Laos.
Schumer. I saw in the background.
I shouldn't call her a bitch or a slut. I should just call her a louse.
Yeah. There's that picture. For the people that don't know, Lucas just got back like last week from Laos, but there's one of the pictures of you handing out school supplies to the kids, and I saw in the background they were shooting an episode of CSI on the other lot. The back lot, like Lucas and his family go on an all-expense-paid trip down to Hollywood to watch Lucas perform and say it's Laos. You just hire some ethnic-looking kids and give them pencils. And we're suckers for it. We'll buy egg rolls year-round to support that trick, that fake country of Laos.
Is it bad as soon as I got off the plane, my first thought was egg rolls? Like, I love your mom's egg rolls.
I know. She does make a mean egg roll. That is true.
Man, it's super dope. I can't.
It is cool.
I went to Laos, no egg rolls.
There's no egg rolls in Laos?
No, there's like this.
You're talking closer into the mic. Yeah, get right on it.
It's like fake egg rolls, man. Like, my mom actually told me, I'm like, so am I going to go to grandma's house and like, learn this recipe that you've been doing? She's like, no, I just make up.
She just made the whole thing up.
Made the whole thing up.
I love how you said you're going to go to grandma's. Your grandma's still alive over
she's dead. Actually,
what do you thought the recipe? You thought the recipe, like the spirit was.
Well, they call it grandma's because that's where like they used to live. Like she obviously passed away, but like the tradition is like everybody lives in the same house you grew up. So I got to see the house that my parents grew up in, like my siblings. So it was crazy. It was sad. Like I almost teared up because when I walked, they don't have like real rooms. It's just like this half wall. And there's a mattress on the floor, and it's hot, and it's...
Well, you're tearing up. Like, I just want to talk logic. And I'm like, I want you to walk into that house and be like, yo, whatever you say over there in your fake country.
You nailed it.
Like,
First
hey,
time, that's good.
All these kids, you don't even have a room. You've got a mattress on a floor. We're from Laos, and I drive a frickin' Escalade. That's what you need to say. Like, yo, homies, come to America. Seriously, Obama's cool with anybody. You come on over. Like, why would they stay in Laos? Why wouldn't don't give them pencils, give them tickets.
It's hard to get over now.
Bring them. You could. How many Laotians can you fit in an Escalade?
Is that what they're called? Laotians?
How many bags can you check?
Or are they just called lice?
You make when you're making up stuff, it's okay. Somebody said, I love how this. Oh, somebody wants to know. This is a good question. Somebody said, is it true that Steve-O's dating George Clooney's ex? No, not going there.
Yeah, not going.
I'm just glad they got better information than I did, even, and I'm glad that I got a no-go. I love when I get questions that are a no-go.
I like how somebody asked, "What is a VIP table?"
I know.
If you have to ask, don't worry about it.
You don't want one. You're not interested. Somebody says, "Are you reading these? Could you read that one?" To call me racist, but Al Jackson sounds a lot like Patrice O'Neal.
First of all, that's not racist.
I know. That's what I was going to say. I love that they say like.
I think that's disrespectful to Patrice. He's one of the greatest comics ever. I'll take it, but no.
I love the whole setup of that thing. Call me racist, but Al Jackson's hilarious. Like,
that makes no
just because he's black doesn't mean any statement is racist. Yeah. It'll be okay. Plenty of people wanting to know if you need an assistant, because now that you said you don't have one, they all want to work for you. Come to the show.
You have some pretty faithful followers over there, man.
Oh, we do.
I signed out because I had nothing coming into my Twitter. I mean, I'll check when I get back to the hotel.
I'm sure. Yeah, send him some stuff on Twitter because Steve-O's ready to go. What's your Twitter handle again?
At Steve-O.
At Steve-O. Pretty easy to remember. Al, are you on Twitter?
No hyphen.
I am. Oh yeah. What'd you say?
He said no hyphen.
No hyphen, capital O.
I think you said no hymen. I thought we were talking about Twitter here, buddy. What's yours, Al?
I'm at Al Jackson Comedy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Somebody already had at Al Jackson?
Yes, man.
Who is it? Is it a cool dude or is it just some nerd?
Just some dude squatted on my name online. So, like, my website's Al Jackson Live. You know, like.
Don't you hate that?
Some dude named just Al Jackson just sitting around with 4 followers.
Exactly.
With everything. So.
There's a dude that owns BigJShow.com or something like that. And they sell, like, it's like a pawn shop in, like, Aurora, Colorado. The worst website ever. I'm sure nobody ever goes there. Like, I sent the guy a thing and said, hey, will you guys shoot me an offer? I'd like to purchase your domain name. Like, I'll buy you a new domain name. I offered him a new one that sounded just as cool. I'm like, and I'll buy this one from you because it's the name of my thing. And they just sent me a thing back like, not interested. What do you mean not interested? You're not even going to throw a number at me, like $100,000?
Yeah.
Like, of course I'll say no, but what do you mean you're just automatically not interested? Like, we're really connected to our crappy website. Like, if people want to pawn gold in Aurora, Colorado, they have to know to go to BigJShow.com. It's ridiculous. Yeah. We should find the Al Jackson and take care of him.
Let's just find him right now and beat his ass.
I bet he's here in Billings.
All right.
Big. I bet they call him Reverend Al Jackson.
He's the guy that doesn't know what a VIP table is.
Exactly. He's that one. Everybody's telling you guys to eat lunch downtown, by the way. Do you have a sponsor for lunch, or can you guys go anywhere you want? Sometimes Luke is like whores that out, and he gets paid like 6 G's to have you guys eat at some special restaurant.
No, we don't know what we're doing.
You don't know what you're doing? Well, people they want you to go to Burger Dive. They want you to go somewhere downtown. So.
He goes vegan.
Oh, yeah, you're vegan. God,
yeah.
you are it's so wild, man. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm doing like a protein thing right now, this protein diet. And once again, I'm not going to mention that on the air without getting paid for it. I'm trying to teach you, Steve.
I left the joke out on that one because we're live.
I do
protein diet.
I do Ideal Protein. Yes, it's available at Fuller Family Medicine. But what's with the vegan thing? Is it like, do you feel healthier? Is it like
sure, man? It's healthier for your body. It makes you feel good about yourself for doing the right thing and. Yeah,
and you're vegan, totally. I mean, straight up vegan, nothing made of animal byproducts whatsoever.
Right.
Still, I'm trying to think of an example of something. Have you ever made a mistake, like accidentally?
I think my surfboard wax might have some kind of animal product in it.
Yeah, baby seal oil is the prime ingredient.
I'm not sure, but so there, like I know another guy, Ed Templeton. He's major vegan, and he's real into photography, and he says his film that he uses in photography has some kind of animal product. He said sometimes, you just can't be 100%. But yeah, other than surfboard wax, I'm pretty sure that I'm solid.
Do you ever make a mistake, like buy something and then be like, oh crap?
I'm sure something sneaks through the cracks here and there, but I never knowingly.
Like your deerskin condoms, like you didn't think ahead of time, like, oh crap, deer's an animal, I should get.
Lambskin.
Yeah, I thought we are in from Montana.
Yeah,
we use
that's
deerskin.
for the hunters.
We hunt it, take it to the taxidermist, and they make you custom deerskin out of your own kill. That's kind of unique. Cool. So you're anti-hunting too, probably.
I mean, like I'm not into it.
But to each his own.
I mean, I don't tell other people not to eat meat or not to wear.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go flower bomb people for wearing fur. I don't agree with it, but I don't. I really just stick to what I do.
See, I love that attitude, and I love that just universally. The attitude of like, dude, there's a lot of crazy people out there in the world. Like, you don't have to agree with them; just let them be crazy. You do your thing, and like as long as we don't hurt each other.
Right. Being vegan has benefited every area of my life. Period. And that's just all there is to it. And I love to share that and leave it there.
Very cool. What was the turning point though? Like, did you hear from somebody?
I was doing so much drugs. I was hearing voices, and the voices were telling me that I have to answer for all the messed up stuff I do. And then and then I saw this video, and this guy said, "How can you expect to be saved if you eat meat?" And I just thought, oh no, I'm going to have to answer for every animal. And I was afraid of being punished somehow.
Isn't it crazy that the voices in your head while you were totally cracked out, turned your life around for the better?
Yeah. No,
these evil voices are like, eat healthy food and don't date fat chicks. Yeah. That girl's got an STD.
Yeah,
they're guiding you to a career of fame and
that
fortune.
Is not far from the truth at all, man.
Al Jackson's sitting over there right now going dude, I need to get cracked out any minute.
Voices.
Now. Yeah. You need the Steve-O voices to guide you.
Thanks,
what's success for you guys at this point? Where you're at in your career, what's the next thing where, for you, Al, would it be sitcom? Would it be what's the next thing where you're man, if I really scored that would be awesome?
I'm working on the hour special now. Just trying to get ready for that. So hopefully it'll be ready in about a year. Got to do some more, keep working, but I just shot another special, so that's it. Our Comedy Central special, that's the goal.
That's a big thing.
That's what's up.
And then what's after that? Sitcom? I like to know the path, where you'd like to see the career go, where you'd be happy headed.
I just like doing stand-up. I mean, I've done acting stuff and all that kind of stuff, but I like this. I keep trying to get into other stuff. I just like stand-up. I like hanging out with my homies, and every week it's I feel like everything you do as a comic is just a trick to get people to come see your stand-up, what you really love to do.
I heard Whitney say that same thing about, I know a lot of people hate on Whitney, but Whitney with her show, she broke down. She put her sister in rehab during the show. Her mom had a stroke and came to live with her. She's got all this pressure on her as her show comes out, and everybody's dogging on her and stuff. And she said, was talking about how brutal it was, and she's like, all I wanted to do was stand-up. She's like, that's it. It's all I wanted to do is get away from the show and just get back to stand-up and do stand-up. Because she's that's my world.
Everybody telling you what to do and where to stand and how to do this and how to hold your hands, and you're not talking loud enough and don't talk about that, and you need to focus. It's just with stand-up, it's just Steve-O, go out there, there's a mic, have at it, we don't care what you say.
Do your thing.
How dope is that,
That's cool. So you just want to keep, living the dream, just be a stand-up and do your thing.
Stand-up, man. It's all good, man.
And do you care if you become if you're a legendary stand-up, or do you just want to be a working stand-up your whole life? Do you care how big and famous you get, or just as long as you stay working?
I would like to get because there are stand-ups that are very well paid, but can also go out to dinner with their family. I would dig that. I would like to have comics respect me, make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Have people come out to the show, but I don't need to be crazy famous.
You don't want to be like Chris Rock.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad, but it's how many people get to be Chris Rock? I mean, you can make that your goal.
But a Bill Burr or something.
I would be down with being Bill Burr. That's my homie. I would definitely be down with that.
Good.
Comics respect him, sells out. My homie told me people were scalping tickets for a show the other day. I was like, that's how you made it. When people are scalping tickets, you made it, dog.
That's awesome. That's official. What about you, Steve? Where do you want to keep doing stand-up, or you got any other goals?
Yeah, I want to keep doing stand-up. I got a new show I finished filming not too long ago. It's on True TV, and here's the show. People sing karaoke while horrible things happen to them.
So it's like Jackass karaoke kind of mix?
Yeah, a little bit, man. And I'll tell you, watching somebody try to sing Leonard Skinner while they're getting electrocuted the whole time, it's just never... It never gets old, man, at all.
I love it.
It's awesome. And, there's all these, we do horrible things to people, and they have to keep singing no matter what.
What's your role on the show? Are you producer?
I'm
you
the host.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you behind the scenes too producing or just hosting?
I wouldn't say that. No, I'm just a host.
I like how in entertainment it's always kind of fuzzy. Are you a producer too? Like, I don't know.
I don't know if they got me.
I might be.
That's just I
might own.
Like, what does produce mean? You know?
I know.
I mean, it's like
I always feel like I'm not in show business because I don't know what a producer does. They're like, "Do you want to be a producer?" I'm like, "I don't know what that is."
You just say yes because you get your name on stuff, and then if it works, you're like, "Oh, I'm."
Whether you get, I don't know if I got a producer credit or not. Maybe I did. I really don't know or
He
care.
has no idea.
But it's like more like what Al said. It's like they hand me a mic here. Out comes this. And I just
You do your thing.
Do the thing.
I like it. Somebody wants to know, will there ever be another Jackass movie, or is Jackass completely done?
Man, it's possible.
Anything's possible. No talk about it though. Like nothing in the works yet.
Well, we had 4 years off in between each of the movies, so.
Somebody wants to know if Wild Boys had anything to do with your move to vegan lifestyle.
I can't say it did, but my vegan life, I wouldn't want to do it. And so much of Wild Boys was just going to like zoos and walking from cage to cage, and that's just a bummer. I couldn't film Wild Boys anymore.
What about pets? Do you have pets?
I have two rescue animals. Yeah, 2 dogs.
So you're cool with pet, like as long as they're well taken care of and not. You don't make them do tricks.
Well, now
This is like the vegan conscious kicking in. It's like, I guess getting your dog drunk is bad.
Well, no, my dog Walter, every time I sit on my sofa, like he jumps up on the sofa and he tries to wedge himself between me and the back of the sofa, and he will not stop until I put peanut butter on my wiener.
I think we've all been there. And we've all done that.
I think Walter figured out.
I love
Ladies
Walter.
and gentlemen, Steve-O and Al Jackson tonight and tomorrow night out at Manny's. 9 o'clock is sold out, but there are still a few seats available for the 7 o'clock, so get online, montanacomedy.com. Get them now. It's going to be a very, very funny show. Steve-O, you know him from all the stuff on TV. You probably don't know his stand-up, so check that out. Al Jackson, he's been doing stand-up for at least 45 years. The dude is, in my mind, a legend. You are very, very, very funny. You got a solid set, and it's going to be a great show. Just a good mix. 2 very, very different style comedians. Somebody said, what a great show this morning. Steve-O and Al, you're so funny and so chill. You guys rock. Well, if you enjoyed them this morning on the Big J Show, go check them out tonight or tomorrow night at Manny's and support these guys. Lucas can't keep bringing these people in with that fake Laotian money, if you don't go see the show. Like
that Monopoly money.
Yeah, exactly.
Got Laotian money in my pocket.
Look at that. See, he's got it.
Son.
That's how he's going to try to pay Steve. Steve doesn't realize he's getting robbed. You're getting paid in that Laos money, that
twice.
Amy Schumer money. Check them out tonight and tomorrow night at Manny's. Al Jackson, Steve-O, thank you guys so much for coming up this morning. Oh, wait. Wayne has an announcement.
One last thing. I just want to say thank you to the City of Billings for supporting us. This is our 2-year anniversary.
Wow.
So this is a big deal for us, so thank you so much for coming out. 2 years, man.
Are you going to cry a little bit, Wayne?
No, I'm good, man.
No, you are a little bit.
I was going to say that, but Wayne jumped into it. Because I've been saying that out on the other stations.
Don't let Wayne say it, because Wayne almost cries. Look at him, like he's very sensitive. That's what he said last week. He's like, thank you for letting me fill this ATM for the past year. Like I'm so lucky. Thank you, Hardin, for letting me fill the ATM outside your grocery store. And I love you, Lucas. All right, coming up next, Wayne's going to jump off of Lucas's coattails, and we're going to play Christina Perri, 1,000 Years, next on Hot.
Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.